want you to put things in the chat box, put comments, put your yeses, put your stars, put everything as we talk about, because this really is a celebration. So I want to thank you. And remember, you can keep your lines muted until we are done with the session. So let's just backtrack. So we started the Women Build Confidence VIP just about 6 weeks ago, and it was awesome. We had our launch video, and these were some of the things that we talked about. I'm actually going to be sharing with you some of the things you've already seen, right? So we talked about why is it important to upgrade your life? Like, what does upgrade actually mean? It means to raise yourself or to raise something to a higher standard. It means to actually take time and say, you know what, where I'm at right now or what I'm doing right now, I could be doing this exponentially at another level. So some of you, surprisingly, you surprised yourself and started to maybe create products or started to maybe challenge yourself. I loved how Kimberly was like, I'm going to talk about how beautiful I am. I'm beautiful, I'm valuable, and nothing about me is a mistake. And she actually dared to go into the tribe and share her poetry. Like, that was amazing to see. And so as we think about that, I talked about how when we don't take time to upgrade our lives, we can have the pill of resentment. We can start becoming jealous of other people. We can start being envious of others. We can begin to get angry at others. And again, as I'm chatting, if there are things you know that resonate with you, you can put yes, that's true or whatever in the chat box. And that way I can know that, okay, I see that you guys can see that. That way I know that you guys are following along. But you know, a lot of things happen when we say, I want to upgrade my life. And then change begins at the heart. So one of the things, hopefully, if you've been in the tribe, you see that I will delete any post or anything that has nothing to do with our group. I don't believe in just having a group to have a group. I lead the group, and you're going to find other leaders in the group as we progress. But just know, I believe that the heart is really, telling. And more women need to be a part of a tribe and a community where they know they're not just going on there mindlessly. Y'all know when you go onto social media sites and you're just on there looking at random pictures. No, our group is a group that's about helping you to reach your goals. And the group resonates with some of the curriculum that I've created that stems from my books. So I just want you to know, well, why are you doing what you're doing? Well, you're doing it because you have goals you want to reach. You're working with an expert, and you're in the group so that you can also meet other people who are trying to do the same thing as you. So just keep that in mind. And some of the things we talked about is that, number one, you want to master your investment of time. Like, you guys have been the bomb. However you found time to zoom on in, you mastered that time. So imagine if you were able to take that to another level. You mastered your time in the last 5 weeks. You read your books. You got your journals. You got your flowers. You did all of those components. And that is awesome. Number two, I asked you to determine your inner circle. I want you to write in the chat box, were you able to determine who you were hanging around? There is research to prove that where you are right now has a big influence as to, who you've been listening to, the kinds of things you rehearse or repeat, good or bad. So sometimes negative things have happened. Like today, I was at church today, and it was interesting because the message was all about forgiveness. And I thought to myself, well, wow, forgiveness is so true. And there are some things that's easy to forgive. Like, you can forgive something that happened to you 3 months ago, but something that may have really rocked your world, it's harder to let go of. So remember, you can determine your inner circle, but you can also determine how you allow certain things to influence you. Number three, make a bold decision to value your time. And some of you sent me personal emails about how you were valuing your time, like saying, you know what, it's okay for me to be by myself. It's okay for me to actually have a moment where no one understands what I'm going through. And number four, we talked about why it's important to say no. Like, you just can't say yes to everything. So if you just joined us, I want to say, hey, welcome. Glad you joined. We're taking time. This is being recorded right now. And then once we're done recording, I will stop this and ask everyone to show their videos with your hashtag UPML shirt. So let me keep going. So keep on chatting because I see comments in there. But yeah, you can't say yes to everything and everyone when you're trying to upgrade. Did you know that every company, when they're in the process of having product development, they have a moment, an incubation time, where there's not all this chitter chatter. They only have key people in the room helping them think about, okay, what are we doing? Where are we going? Why are we doing what we're doing? So you also had the chance to say to yourself, okay, where am I going? Where is Tamaya going? Where is Sharonica going? Where is Kimberly going? Like, who am I? You know, who is Pam? Why am I doing this? So you had a chance to take yourself extremely seriously. And I want to commend you for that. Big applause, woo, woo, because it's not easy. As women, we serve so many people and we think it's okay not to take care of ourselves. Like, we leave ourselves last. And even this whole cycle, I had to say to myself, okay, how can I work even still to achieve life balance? All right, so we talked about this, the tribe of support, how we need to have other people in our lives, other new experiences, so that, you know, sometimes when you're stuck, you don't know you're stuck. Sometimes when you are stuck, you don't even know that you've been stuck because you're with other people who are stuck with you and you've been so used to it and they've been so used to you being that way that you don't start to think that anything new can happen. But let me share with you something. Your circumstance where you are right now has nothing to do with who you still can become. Let me say that again. Your circumstances have nothing to do with who you can become, even if it's been that way. So if you've been sad for many, many years and no one's known it, if you've been depressed, dejected, if you felt like just throwing in the towel and quit, you know what, and you're around other people who are affirming that in your life, you need a shake up. You need to shake up. Okay, so I know I'm speaking very directly, but it's really to help you to see that it's okay if you were in a situation. I hear someone's audio, so I'm just going to ask you to mute yourself so that I don't hear you. But so it's okay if you feel like, you know what, you've been in a position where you've been stuck and you're not in a place where you can grow. It just means you have to upgrade even your circle. You have to upgrade what your expectation is. And the only way to do that is to start doing some uncomfortable things. So keep putting those comments in the chat box. Yes, you got to be willing to get uncomfortable. It's not easy to hear someone look at you and say, hey, you could be doing a lot more than what you're doing right now. You could be selling a lot more. You could be creating a lot more. You could be at the gym every day. You could be eating better every day, but you're making that decision. Like, sometimes you need someone to be so boldly honest with you. And I think I'm very grateful for the mentors that I had in my life. You know what? They told me things I did not want to hear. They told me when I was selfish. They told me when I was acting really safe and I didn't want to get out of myself. They told me when they knew I wasn't giving my best. And I want to say that to you. What areas in your life are you still not taking seriously? What areas in your life are you still kind of accepting as okay, like as is? I just want to challenge you. You have an opportunity to really take the tribe seriously, to like quotes, to take a few moments and revisit what you've learned. See, a lot of times when we have a class like this, sometimes life gets in the way. Raise your hand, put a comment. Life gets in the way and you forget where you were at, or you forgot why you signed up, or you were enthusiastic when you signed up the first week. The second week you were like, all right. Week 3 you were like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Forget week 4. And week 5 you was like, woo, did I make it? So sometimes you go through these moments and you just feel like, you know what, you started off, you don't feel great, and then somehow you tell yourself it just might not be for me. This change that I always thought I deserved, maybe it's just not for me. But I want to tell you that's why you are a part of a tribe, because the tribe is going to be the ones that will kind of say, no, you're on the right track. Yeah, I saw you fall off on the edge of the road, but I'm walking by and you know what, maybe that's your hard part. I'm going to help you. I'm going to hold your hand as you go through that journey, and I'm going to help you along the way. So I hear some sounds. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to ask you to mute yourself just so I don't hear the extra sound. So keep that in mind when you think about the tribe. And we talked about all of these wonderful women who dared to dream. You know what? It's easy to see Maya Angelou and Oprah Winfrey and all these people looking so perfect at the helm of their success. But the truth is that they all had to take a chance on themselves. The truth is that Oprah was young and had to sleep outside of her family's home because she wasn't acceptable for beauty purposes. Or Dr. Maya Angelou was raped at a young age and she couldn't find her voice for many years. And then, Ariana Huffington and Amelia Earhart, all these women, I want you on your own time when we're off, take a break and read their stories. Go, watch their videos, get a book and learn about them, because true learning, true dedication means what are you going to do to go the extra mile? So I want to just encourage you to revisit their stories. And then one of the things we had fun doing was I had you create an I am statement, an affirmation, because affirmations are really essential. This was my personal affirmation. I am delivered from scattered thinking. My yes will be yes, and my no will be no, and I will not be unsettled. You know what it is to be unsettled, to constantly feel like one day you know where you're going and the other day you don't. One day you're really happy and the other day you're really sad. That up and down based upon how people treat you or how you feel. So that was my struggle. That was where I had to say, you know what? I no longer blame certain people for causing me to feel a certain way about who I was or about my beauty or about whatever, but that I could affirm a new me. So you had times to think about how you could affirm a stronger, better version of yourself. And then I asked you to create an I am statement. I am someone who is. I am someone who believes. I'm someone who will make the decision to. And then you had an awesome opportunity to come up with one area where you were going to make true change. For me, that one decision I made was life balance, was to get out and start walking or start running or not make excuses with my schedule. So I don't know what that was for you. Maybe you could put it in the chat box. And then the biggest thing is to stay focused, to show up for yourself, to pinpoint your focal point, and determine to have a wake-up call. And then there's just a few other things I want to talk about. So I think it's really important that you know that as an author and as an expert in helping people reach their goals, I had my own wake-up call. I had that moment where it was like, what am I doing? I had that moment where on the outside, everything looked perfect, but on the inside, I constantly wanted to become a business owner. I wanted to become an author. I wanted to become a speaker, but I just felt like, what's the point? And then I had all of these other things going on with me. I had personal things that were weighing me down. I had negative self-talk that was holding me down. And all of us have that. You can write in the comment if you relate, where you could have self-doubt, paralysis of analysis, setbacks, and obstacles. And then a lot of what if? What if I did this 10 years ago? What if I did this instead? What would have happened if? And you can spend a whole 4 years talking about what if and live again in that resentment. So then we talked about why it's essential for you to create an action plan, and we continue to do that. And again, I just want to kind of wrap up here and just talk about how we really are setting the stage for creating an environment that will really help you to upgrade your life. You know what? When you become a woman who is truly confident, you're not only beautiful on the outside, but you're also beautiful on the inside. And one of the things we talked about is remembering your why. Why are you doing the things that you are doing? Remembering your motivation. Why did you make that declaration that you want to upgrade your life? So as we wrap up, these 5 weeks, 6 weeks, I want to just tell you that I am absolutely proud of you. The last thing that I asked everyone to do was to go out and grab some roses. And if you didn't get it, go out and do it. It's really fun. Go out, grab your roses, put it in a favorite spot, and just floss with it. Like someone, whoever you think is the hardest person ever, gave them to you, and you just feel so happy that you actually reminded yourself how special and how valuable you actually are. So I'm gonna pause this share 1 second, y'all, so y'all can see me up close. All right, so I'm gonna stop recording, and you can now turn on your videos. This is